Wh40k Fluff for the uninitiated.
Episode 6 Space Marine Equipment Part 2 Weapons. The most important and iconic weapon in a Space Marine's arsenal is his Sacred Bolter. Used by other Imperial forces such as the Sisters of Battle, Inquisitors, and high-ranking members of the Imperial Guard, they are mostly considered a rare specialist weapon among those, while an Adeptus Custodes will rarely be encountered without some form of bolt weapon on him, because they embody the same basic principles as the Space Marines. They are not subtle. They are impressive and overpowering. The booming report of bolt shell being fired alone will intimidate all but the most fearless foes, and the bloody mess they leave behind is devastating to enemy morale. Bolt shells are mass-reactive self-propelled slugs of a 75 caliber with a special diamantine tip for maximum penetration that are set to detonate a moment after impact to explode inside their target, to cause devastating damage to fleshy and armored targets alike. The most common variations of bolt weapons are the bolt pistol, to be carried and fired in one hand by Astartes, although the weight and recoil mean that most normal humans need to use both hands to fire one. The bolter or bolt gun, which is comparable to a modern-day submachine gun, only with enough firepower to take down lightly armored vehicles in one clip, and the heavy bolter, which uses even larger shells with more propellant and longer range. Only Space Marines can ever hope to use an unmounted heavy bolter, but whether it is carried, set up on a tripod, or mounted on a vehicle, it is one of the most powerful suppressing weapons ever designed, and can even mow down careless Astartes in full armor with ease. Less common variations of the bolt weapon are the Storm Bolter and the Stalker Bolter. Storm Bolters are basically two bolters side by side in a single housing with a twin-linked firing mechanism, doubling their rate of fire at the cost of accuracy and ammo consumption. Terminator power armor will often come with an integrated Storm Bolter, allowing the Marine to carry one while still keeping both hands free. The Stalker Bolter uses special subsonic shells, replacing the mass-reactive explosive with solidified mercury, the rocket propellant with a gas cartridge, and the standard sights for a specialized M40 targeting system. They also have an extended barrel for greater accuracy. Other bolt weapons are produced but are employed only in special applications, such as on Imperial vehicles or Titans, or by the Grey Knights chapter, which will get their own episode of Fluff for the uninitiated sometime soon. Besides bolt weapons, the Space Marine also use las weapons, which bear similarity to lasers only in name and rough idea, but obey sci-fi physics, for instance in that they fire visible, extremely fast-moving but not light-speed, discrete lances of energy. Imperial Guard, the Inquisition and others use las weapons as all-purpose firearms, but they lack the sheer physicality of bolt weapons to be suitable for Space Marines, who only really use las cannons, which are roughly the size of an adult human male and weigh significantly more. Their energy cells are expended after only a single shot, but can punch right through even heavy armor. Space Marines also use melter weapons, which agitate the air on a subatomic level, heating whatever is in range to the point of vaporization, melting tank armor and reducing flesh to dust in the wind. The major disadvantages of melter weapons are high power consumption and very short range, which is made up for by a very silent operation compared to any other weapon capable of similar devastation, making them a favorite among scout squads for infiltration missions. The third kind of energy-based ranged weapon is plasma weapons, which energize their fuel into a superheated plasma, encase this payload in a magnetic containment field, and propel it towards its target. Contact with solid matter ruptures the magnetic containment field, releasing the energy of a small star into whatever it touched. Like the bolter, it comes in three major variations: plasma pistol, plasma gun, and plasma cannon. The main drawback of plasma weapons is overheating, and a careless user can easily have the weapon explode in their hands, resulting in the expected vaporization. Besides these ranged weapons, the Adeptus Custodes make heavy use of melee weapons, where their superior strength and reflexes come into play the most. Besides traditional close combat weapons just made from sci-fi materials, the Marines employ three distinct kinds of melee weapons: chain weapons, power weapons, and force weapons. Chain weapons can best be compared to modern-day chainsaws, only with razor-sharp teeth of adamantium and nearly infinite power cells contained in the handles. They come as chain swords, chain axes, and chain fists, pretty much chainsaw boxing gloves. Again, there are other variations, but they are even rarer on the battlefield than these. Power weapons sheathe their blades or striking surfaces in an energy field, which has thus far never been explained, contrary to its effects. Power weapons can cut or punch through almost anything with ease, giving a Space Marine with nothing but a power hammer a serious fighting chance against a light tank or a traitor marine in Terminator armor. Sword and axe are yet again the most common sort of power weapons, but lightning claws, thunder hammers and power fists are also popular enough to warrant mention, while again other variations exist. Force weapons are rare among Astartes because only librarians, Space Marine psychers, may use them to full effect because they channel the warp energies of the wielder into their victims. Other races may use them more frequently if they have a higher number of psychers in their ranks, and they are standard issue, as Nemesis force weapons, for Grey Knights. For defense in close combat, Space Marines make use of combat shields and storm shields, both being sheathed in the same energies as a power weapon. The combat shield is usually strapped to the arm, enabling the Marine to wield two weapons, while the storm shield offers superior protection at the cost of being carried in one hand. Look forward to the next episode where I will explain Orcs.